Summer has finally come, and you know what that means. A new batch of animes. This season is filled with variety. We got romance, comedy, fantasy, harem, incest, isekais, ecchi, and whatever this is. We have a few returning animes, from the long-awaited return of Monogatari series, the incredible comeback of my childhood show, Kinnikuman, the second season of Oshinoko, the continuation of Sengoku Yoku, season 2 of the Cafe Terrace and its goddess, whatever is the 100-year quest of Fairy Tail, and the sequel nobody asked for in Our Last Crusade or The Rise of the New World season 2. But the best returning anime has to be the long-awaited Season 2 of Tower of God. As a longtime fan of the manhwa, I can't wait to see this new season. Finally looking at Bam as a real person and more development in such an incredible good story. Plus, the opening is a banger. But enough of these new seasons. Let's jump into the new animes. High school romance drama has always been a genre that is really hit or miss in anime, as most stories tend to go for the easier rom-com approach. So, it is interesting to see 3 new animes that so far had hit the mark. First off, we have Days with My Stepsister. Guys, hear me out. Wincest. Okay guys, chill. They just met and they are not blood related. So this is just basically Domestic Girlfriend. But seriously, this is an anime that is trying a different approach, acting in a more serious manner and giving a lot of depth into the characters. Too bad the pacing is so slow. I mean, come on, it's 3 episodes and I felt like nothing has happened. Love is Indivisible by Twins is also a strong drama about twins in love with their childhood friend, trying to balance romance with their family relationship. The guy is a bit bland, but at least the focus is on the 2 girls rather than him, so that's good. But the best romance drama goes to My Senpai Isa no Tokonoko, telling the love triangle story of a guy that dresses as a girl, a guy's childhood friend in love with him, and a new girl that fell in love with him dressed as a girl. I wasn't expecting an anime to have such a good depiction of transgender characters and their growth finding their own identity. But the story is so good and emotional, showing his identity struggles as well as family issues. Moving on to lighter topics. How about some ecchi? 2.5 dimensional seduction feels similar to My Dress Up Darling, but scaled up to 11 for otakus, as our main guy loves an anime girl, and a cosplayer girl joins the manga club while asking him to take pictures of her. And you know, this has to be extremely ecchi. Now, I don't know if I would call this ecchi, but Twilight Out of Focus is going full BL by giving us a straight up sex scene by episode 3. I mean, come on, the guy even offered to give him a hand job by the end. But the ecchi king of the season goes to plus-sized elf, as an elf girl in love with French fries got too fat to return to her world and now has to exercise to lose some weight. This one I would recommend to lock the door before you start watching, if you know what I mean. Unfortunately, each episode is only 12 minutes long, which is disappointing. The same can be said about the magical girl and evil lieutenant, as an evil guy falls in love with a cute magical girl and start to slowly become closer to each other. With some cute moments and a bit of comedy, I wish this one was full 24 minutes. Okay, moving on. How about we just lump all the fantasy isekai together? First, we got the strongest magician in the Demon Lord army, in which a human raised by a demon to be a skilled magician tries to hide his identity while fighting against humans. A bit generic and not strong plot-wise. Now, we got the Exploration Hero, which is basically just your typical lolly dream fantasy. Bye Bye Earth also comes as a fresh take of fantasy, in which the only human in a world full of furries fights monsters while looking for more humans. It was a good story and I wanted to know more about it, until I found out the domestic violence case of the author. Bold of him to have a female lead in the story. Then we also got 2 new animes that focus on older dudes becoming adventurers. Osan Newbie Adventurer feels like the worst one, as the main guy is just whining all the time even when he's super strong. I Parry Everything is a bit better, as the main guy is a bit more chill and he uses a single ability to the max. But still, both animes feel a bit disappointing, with the main thing being that they are strong but they don't know how strong they are. Dahlia in Bloom has a bit more depth, as a girl learns from her father how to create magical instruments. This feels more like a woman's coming-of-age story, and I think it has some interesting topics about living your life to the fullest. Quality Assurance in Another World has a rather unique premise, as a bunch of debuggers get trapped in a VR game, and now everyone is doing whatever they want with the NPCs, while our main guy keeps doing his debugging job while trying to find a way to leave the game. Main character can be a bit bland sometimes, but the plot does a lot of the heavy lifting. Nobody Remembers Me in this world has a lot of what I would call the ingredients of success. Great animation, barely any CG, interesting plot and main protagonist. But for some reason, it feels like a lot of the points have already been developed by other animes in a better way. I think if this came out 10 years ago, it would have been a hit. Now, Failure Frame. This anime takes the plot of Arifureta and doubles down on everything. This is what I would call hot garbage and my guilty pleasure of the season. It is just really funny how everyone is so cartoonishly evil. The teacher, the bullies, even the bullied guys are also evil. And of course, the only nice people are the cute love interest. But I just love some revenge stories. And finally, we have Wisteria, as our main protagonist, Asta Borndead, doesn't have magic, but can kill anything with his sword, as he aims to become a divine visionary and the Wizard King or something. Animation really carries this one for me. Now, for a few other stories, we have Atri, in which the world has been almost consumed in water and our main protagonist finds an android that belonged to his mother. I like how main protagonist is a bit more unique, with him having lost a leg prior to the story. My Wife Has No Emotion answers the question, will we fall for AI if we just give them boobs? And the answer is yes. Bro literally called her a cooking appliance at the beginning and now he wants to marry her. And for the Stardew Valley lovers, Sakura gives you the slow farmer's life as a goddess is sent with some useless humans to farm some rice. I like the style of the characters, but it feels like the story needs a bit more development. And for the love of God, make the humans a bit more interesting at least. Pseudo Harem tells the story of a cute drama girl that falls in love with yet another bland guy, and she tries to fulfill his dream of a harem by pretending to be different girls. This girl is a treasure, and the main guy doesn't deserve her. Mayonaka Punch follows the life of Mr. Beast if you had made a blood pact with a vampire. So, the story of Mr. Beast. It is basically just cute girls doing YouTube. How to Be Ordinary feels like a spiritual successor to Hyouka, as our 2 main protagonists try to solve some class mysteries while trying to have a normal life as students, for some reason. I haven't really understood that part yet. Nier Automata is back for Season 2. I gotta say, I appreciate the story being different from the game, and I know the animators really love B2, based on the amount of panty shots that we get per episode. Alia Hides Her Feelings in Russian has to be the rom-com of the season, as a cute Russian girl fell in love with her classmate that unknown to her also speaks Russian, as she says embarrassing things in Russian and he pretends not to know what she's saying. But the true final high school romance boss is the too many losing hero in this anime.
負けヒロインだ
Telling the story of our MOV character that on the sidelines gets to see different girls lose into their harem rom-coms, and he tries to cheer them up in any possible way. This anime is giving me heavy Makoto Shinkai vibes, and I'm just loving how our main guy calls out all the cliché harem tropes.
展開早すぎない
We also get two strong anime comedies. My Dear Friend Nokotan went viral even before it came out with its opening song. Now we get to see its final form, and oh dear. It really feels like a spiritual successor to Nichijou, as there is so much nonsense and so many CG tears that just combines for a good time. And on the other hand, we have VTuber Legend, as our main protagonist is a VTuber that becomes unhinged after drinking too much, and now the chains are off and she can be herself. With so many nods to the VTuber community, like playing Getting Over It and the actual use of Live 2D for the VTubers, it makes for the perfect depiction of VTubing in anime, as we are watching a 24-minute Satsudan in every episode. And finally, for my personal favorites. No Longer Allowed in Another World keeps up the long-standing tradition of milking the suffering of Osamu Dazai, as just before he died of a double suicide, he gets reincarnated by Truck-kun. I just love how funny this anime is, taking jabs at the isekai tropes as our main guy is just trying to kill himself while random girls are falling for him. On the other hand, we have the long-awaited Suicide Squad isekai. I got to be honest, before this came out, I thought they were milking the popularity of Harley Quinn, but after watching a few episodes, I'm hooked. Really good story with animation that can sometimes feel a bit lacking, but it's mostly good, and just a fun time with the squad as they fight other villains as well as the fantasy monsters and freaking dragons. And lastly, The Elusive Samurai has to be my top pick of the season. And that comes from someone that hates period dramas. This anime is doing everything so well, as we see how the story of our main character being betrayed and his clan destroyed, as he only knows how to escape and plans on taking revenge on those who betrayed him. Animation is incredibly good, and I love how fluid the movements look. Combined with such a good story, you have to watch this one or you will be missing out on the best new anime of the season. And with that said, we come to the conclusion of this video. What do you guys thought of the summer 2024 anime season? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, see you guys next time.